True love exists, but not in the way they sold it to you. You won't stumble into it in a swipe. You won't find it waiting in your DMs. And no, it doesn't arrive when you're finally enough. Because love, real love, is not found. It's built. Brick by brick, wound by wound, choice after choice, in a world that teaches you to replace, not repair. We live in an age that confuses attention with affection, an era of infinite options and shallow depth, where the moment someone stops entertaining us, we scroll on to the next fantasy. Social media has turned love into a performance. Curated, filtered, transactional. We don't ask, can I grow with this person? We ask, how do they make me feel right now? And so, true love, the kind that grounds you, scars you, reshapes you, becomes almost mythical, not because it doesn't exist, but because it requires something our culture no longer values: work. Love today is mistaken for chemistry, but chemistry is cheap. You can feel it with a stranger at a bar. You can feel it with someone who'll disappear by morning. But real love? Real love is forged. It's earned through moments that don't look romantic. Through silence. Through misunderstanding. Through staying. Carl Jung once said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. And that includes love. Because real love forces you to face yourself. Not your mask, not your persona, but your shadow, your wounds, your fears of being abandoned, unseen, unworthy. And that's why most people don't want love. They want a mirror that flatters, not one that reflects their brokenness. But if you're still here, still listening, maybe you're different. Maybe some part of you has always known that what we've been sold isn't real love at all. And if that's true, then it's time to unlearn everything. Ask anyone if they want love, and they'll say yes. But look deeper, and you'll see that most people want something else entirely. They want to feel desired, without having to be vulnerable. They want the intimacy of being seen, without the discomfort of being known. They want devotion without the discipline. This is the tragedy of our time. Social media has rewired our nervous systems. We crave validation in real time. We've become addicted to the rush of novelty, mistaking newness for connection. And so we scroll, endlessly, not searching for love, but for a feeling, a spike, a fix. But love, real love, is not a dopamine hit. It's not built in your highlight reel. It's born in the shadow moments, the quiet forgiveness after an argument, the patience in misunderstanding, the decision to stay not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Yet we've built a world allergic to depth. Dating apps turn people into products. Relationships become performance art. And the moment discomfort arises, we call it toxicity and run, not knowing we're running from ourselves. Carl Jung spoke of the anima and animus, the unconscious feminine and masculine within us. And until we face those inner opposites, we'll keep projecting them onto others, demanding they fix what we refuse to confront. That's why so many loves today implode, because they weren't love. They were trauma collisions, performances, escapes. And still, we long. Somewhere beneath the noise, we ache for something real, something steady, something sacred. But that something isn't found, it's built. And the first brick is honesty. We are taught to wait for love, to stumble into it like magic, to believe that if we just click with someone, the rest will take care of itself. But that's not how real love works. Real love is not a lightning strike, it's a slow burn. It does not begin in perfection. It begins in imperfection, in misunderstanding, in conflict, in the jagged edges of two histories trying to dance without cutting each other. Falling in love is instinctual. Staying in love is intentional. And yet most people run at the first sign of friction. They believe love should be easy, effortless. If it requires work, it must be wrong. But the truth is this: if love doesn't demand anything from you, it won't give you anything either. Because love is not a feeling, it's a practice, a discipline, a decision made daily, especially when the feelings fade. We live in a culture obsessed with personal freedom. We're told that anything that costs us something must be toxic. But real love will cost you something. It will cost you your ego, your avoidance, your comfort zone. It will ask you to unlearn everything you thought made you lovable and become someone worth being trusted. This is why most never experience true love. Not because it doesn't exist, but because it asks too much. It asks you to see another as they are, not as you wish them to be. It asks you to be wrong, to say sorry, to bend but not break, to stay but not disappear. It asks you to sacrifice the fantasy so you can finally experience the real. And in that fire of confrontation, when two people dare to keep showing up, bruised, flawed, open, something beautiful begins to take shape. Not the illusion of love, but love itself. Not a high, but a home. Love without sacrifice is not love. It's comfort, it's convenience, it's emotional consumerism dressed as commitment. But real love, the kind that leaves a mark on your soul, demands a death. Not a death of joy, but a death of illusion. You must let the fantasy die. The fantasy that the right person will fix you, that love should always feel good, that alignment means no friction. Because here's the truth: every act of real love is an act of sacred violence, a tearing down of the false self in order to build something true. And that building always begins with sacrifice. Not the sacrifice of dignity, but of delusion. You will sacrifice pride to apologize. You will sacrifice control to trust. You will sacrifice isolation to build intimacy. And sometimes you will sacrifice parts of yourself that no longer serve the version of you who wants to love and be loved deeply and truly. Jung said that all real love is sacrifice, because to truly love someone is to make sacred the space between you. It's to protect it, to work for it, to bleed into it when necessary. And yet we live in a world that fears sacrifice, a world that tells you to leave when it's hard, to swipe right when it's boring, to call it toxic the moment it stops being fun. But love that builds, not breaks, requires effort that doesn't look romantic. It requires cleaning the emotional house when no one's watching. It requires turning toward the other when your instincts scream to run. Sacrifice is not suffering. It's participation. It's presence. It's the proof that you are not in love with just the idea of them, but with the reality of who they are becoming, with you. And that is rare. Not because people don't want it, but because they no longer know how to build it. In the old myths, lovers were not flawless gods. They were wounded mortals, limping toward each other through storms and silence. Because real love, true love, is not a reward for perfection. It's a crutch. Not a burden, not a chain, but something, someone, to lean on when life tries to break you. And in the world we live in now, that's exactly what love has stopped being. We've turned relationships into performances. We expect perfection, productivity, and passion all the time. And when struggle enters, we assume it's a sign to leave. But struggle is not a red flag. It's a reminder. A reminder that love, if it's true, will not run from your limp. It will stand beside it, not to fix you, but to carry you when you forget your strength. In Jungian terms, love is the place where our shadow and our soul collide. And when that happens, we bleed, not from wounds, but from truth. The world may teach you that needing someone is weakness, but that's a lie whispered by the traumatized. Because the truth is, we all limp in ways the world can't see. And true love is the kind of presence that doesn't flinch at your limp. It paces beside it. It adapts to your rhythm. It reminds you that you don't have to be whole to be worthy. So if someone makes you feel more human, not more useful, don't let them go. Because love isn't a ladder. It's not meant to help you rise above yourself. It's a crutch meant to help you walk through the storm as yourself.
If love is real, it must evolve. Not because people change, but because truth deepens, because the soul does not speak in repetition, but in movement. Yet in today's world, relationships are expected to remain still, safe, defined, aesthetic. We seek constancy over authenticity. We idolize the honeymoon and demonize the metamorphosis. But Jung taught us this. Anything that is static is dead, and anything alive must be reborn, again and again. True love is not a frozen sculpture. It is a river, unstable, uncontrollable, but pure in its direction. In modern culture, where TikTok reels teach us to swipe away discomfort, and social media praises the curated over the complex, the idea of enduring love feels outdated, almost laughable. But love that lasts is not found, it is forged. In silence, in honesty, in conflict, in surrender. It is forged when two people stop asking, "Does this still feel good?" and start asking, "Are we still becoming something sacred?" True love must be disrupted to be renewed. It must be questioned to be reaffirmed. And no, this doesn't mean constant drama or chaos. It means choosing, again and again, to let the relationship change you, to let it humble you, to let it pull forth new versions of yourself that comfort never could. Like all sacred things, love dies when we try to keep it the same. So let it move, let it breathe, let it undo the old so it can rebuild the new. Because true love is not something you hold on to, it's something you grow into, again and again. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't want to build love. They want to consume it. They want the thrill, the dopamine, the escape from their loneliness. But love, true love, is not an escape. It is a confrontation. A mirror held up to your soul, showing you every part you've been avoiding. Your fears, your expectations, your shadows. As James Hillman wrote, every relationship is a place of individuation. It is not a vacation. It is a transformation. And that's why so few can hold it. Because today, we are trained to avoid discomfort, to ghost when it hurts, to swipe when it's dull, to abandon the hard work of tending to something real. Social media feeds us fantasies, perfect bodies, perfect couples, perfect timelines. But what it doesn't show is the daily silence that must be honored, the wounds that must be healed together, the sacrifices made without applause. And so, we begin to believe that love is supposed to feel effortless. And the moment it doesn't, we call it toxic, or we call it wrong.
and we run. But the truth is this: most modern love fails not because it's broken, but because it was never built. Because no one taught us that the presence of difficulty doesn't mean the absence of love. It means the presence of growth. It means you've reached the edge of who you were, and now you must decide whether to step into who you could become. This is the choice real love demands. And it is brutal, but it is also sacred, because when you stay, not in suffering, but in sincerity, you don't just build a relationship, you build yourself. You become the humble worker in service of something greater than your ego's comfort. And in that labor, in that quiet commitment, true love reveals itself. Not all at once, but slowly, through the sacrifice of illusion, through the ritual of presence, through the courage to remain real, even when it would be easier to perform. That is what love asks of you. Not to be perfect, but to build, to show up, to become.